Hi, I'm Danny. Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the Hcalory 2TG thermal imaging camera. I'm going to show you how this thing can help you find problems that the naked eye just can't see. I'll show you real-world tests like spotting a parasitic draw, identifying active relays, checking for a heater core that could be plugged, and finding air leaks in your car. I'll even show you some uses around the house like water leaks and the cold air that enters your house through the seals if your sealing is bad. If you work on cars or you're a do-it-yourselfer, this is one of those tools that can save you time, money, and a whole lot of frustration. Let's get started. So what comes in the box is the unit itself. So this has a nice feel. It's got a nice weight, a solid grip, and it feels like a professional tool right out of the box. At the bottom, you'll notice there's a 1/4-inch female tripod adapter right here. That's a big plus if you're trying to set this up for long-term monitoring. There's also the manual it comes with, and it's got a lot of good stuff in here. And then there's a lanyard to put around your wrist and carry the tool so you don't drop it. Now the charging cable is going to be the USB-C. It's going to plug right into the top of the unit itself to charge it. It's also going to be the data cable to transfer images and video to your computer. Now to turn on the unit, you're just going to hold this on-off button. It's also the back button, and you're going to hold it for about 3 seconds until the welcome screen comes on. Once everything's up and running, you're going to go ahead and just push the OK button, and it's going to give you some menu items. Select the one that fits the application you're working on. I've been using measurement and then also image mode. Then you just select OK, and it'll come up with some more options. I've been using thermal mode on this, and then you just say OK, and then use the back button to get rid of the menu. To take a picture, just squeeze the trigger and then push OK to save it. For a video, you just hold the trigger for 3 seconds. To stop the video, just pull the trigger again. The first thing that I want to demonstrate using this tool is one of the most frustrating problems for any car owner. It's the parasitic draw. A parasitic draw is basically something that's staying on in the car, pulling power from your battery when it shouldn't. Most people don't even know they have one until they leave their car sitting for a couple of days. Then they go try to start it, and the battery's either weak or completely dead. And by then, it's too late. And normally diagnosing this means breaking out the multimeter, pulling out every single fuse one by one to see what circuit is the culprit. It's tedious and it takes forever. I'm going to demonstrate how much easier it is to use a good thermal camera to do a parasitic draw test. Remember, anything that draws power generates heat. So if we scan the fuse box, we can see which fuse has current passing through it. Even if it's just a tiny bit warmer than all the fuses around it, this camera should be able to pick it up. I do want to mention that because we're dealing with heat, this is done on a cold engine. If you go out and drive the car and then the heat of the engine comes up, you're going to get false readings. So make sure you do this on a cold engine. This is the thermal imager. I've got it pointed directly to the underhood fuse box, right at all the fuses and relays. Over here, I've got my amp clamp, and right now it's reading about a 1/2 amp. So a 1/2 amp is enough to make your car not start after about 2 or 3 days of not driving it. So this has a parasitic draw. With the key off and the car sitting for about 30 minutes, you should see no more than 50 milliamps. I'm seeing 500. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the fuses to see which fuse has power running through it. And we're able to do that with the thermal imager. So if you look at the thermal image, look at the fuses, you can see this 7.5 fuse right here. That's glowing. That means current is going through that fuse, and that's going to be the circuit that has the problem. So if I pull that fuse out, that glow is going to go away, and I lost my parasitic draw. I've never used a thermal imager before, and I wasn't sure it was going to work as a parasitic draw. Actually, I knew it would work. I just didn't know it was going to work this good. But while I was doing it, I did find a couple cautions you should be aware of, and I found something that's really cool. Let me share that with you. So the caution is going to be this relay. It's reflective, so it's going to look like it's got power going through it, even when it doesn't. What I think is really cool, and I kind of found this by mistake, if you don't know where a relay is, all you gotta do is turn on the component. Right now I've got the headlights on, and then I can see the left and the right headlamps, and then the fuses that control them. I don't have to go back to the computer and look up to see where my relays are. I already know. Now I'm going to use the thermal imager to check the heater grid on the back window of my 2009 Honda Civic. I have tint that needs to come off, but before I take it off, I want to make sure that heater grid is working okay before and after. All right, so now I'm going to check the heater grid. I just turned it on. And already so it looks pretty good. You can see the hot spots right at the end here. But I don't see any breaks. Looks good. So a quick way to test your heater core, use the laser beam. So right now I'm reading right about 78 degrees on this hose. If I move it over to the other hose, I've got 75 degrees, 74 degrees, 75 degrees. So let me move it back. We're at 70, 80 degrees. We're at 80 degrees now. And I'm going to move it over again. And we're at 75 degrees. So that tells me my heater core is working. The hot coolant is going in one end. It's cooling down. And it's coming out right about 4 degrees, 5 degrees cooler. Easy way to check your heater core. If you have air leaks or water leaks in your car, warm your car up, turn on the heater full blast, and use your thermal imaging camera to find anywhere that hot air is escaping. Follow the seams on your car. Look down here. So there's my hot spot, so that's where hot air is leaking. It's raining outside. Let's go up into the attic and see what we can find. So this is my camera set up right here. I've got the camera and then the unit itself. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Not a whole lot of room up here. All right, so if you look up there, you can definitely see the pipe leaking. Just kind of come down, and then right over to the side, you see all that like dark area or blue area. That's definitely a leak. And then when I come over on this, you can see the stripes going right down, and then at the top where you can see it's leaking. So that's definitely a leak. And then we had one more leak way in the back. Other than that, I think we're good. Now I want to show you how well this works if you have drafty windows to find an air leak. I'm going to check the temperature of the door seals. Right now it's saying looks like 61 degrees, 60 degrees right at the bottom. Let's go towards the top. Let's get rid of our menu screen. So it's still catching the 62 at the bottom. As I go up, $64. And 64, 65. So I've got a little bit of a leak, I would say at the bottom here as I come down. Let's see. I would say there's a little bit of an air leak down at the bottom. I would say that's true because that's where everything drains, and there's a couple little openings right there. Here's a few of my favorite key features, starting with the clarity. This camera has 256 by 192 resolution, but it uses a software to boost that to 512 by 384, which means you see a sharp, detailed image that you only see on expensive cameras. The sensitivity is ultra sensitive. It can detect temperature changes of less than 1/10 of a degree. And the range is impressive, from -4 all the way up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This works from everything from freezing cold temperatures to extreme high heat. You also got a huge onboard memory that stores over 20,000 thermal images. That allows you to do an entire project from start to finish without ever having to worry about hitting a space limit or stopping to upload files. It's packed with a 2600 milliamp rechargeable battery that gives you about 6 hours continuous runtime, which is more than enough to cover a full day of inspection on a single charge. I hope this video was helpful today. This is the Hcalory 2TG thermal camera. I'd love to know in the comments what you think about this camera. I'll put a link in the description for you to get some more information and where to purchase. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.